So I'm excited to sit down for a few minutes with BJ Meadows. And BJ, I first met you when I just, well, it was before I moved to town, but I had just come to town to work at Gordon Hospital, and I'd got put in leadership Calhoun, Gordon County, and you volunteered to be on that committee and help facilitate that experience. And have enjoyed the opportunity to get to know you over the past couple of years. You've got two young boys, and well, I don't know if they're young. They're young men. They're young men.
Right.
And a beautiful wife, Cindy. You definitely married up.
Oh, of course. I had to go out of town to do that.
So you grew up in this community, and I know you've seen a lot of changes over the years. Why was Calhoun a great place to raise a family in the 1980s, and why is it a great place today to raise a family?
I think it's just from my perspective, it's a safe place. And we have great school systems, and we have a great community itself. You know, we talk about community and the involvement, but you feel a part of something, and that was my experience growing up. And when I moved back here, same thing. I see there's been change, but then there's also not change. It's still that feel that you want, that you look for, and that's what brings people here or brings people back here. So that was, again, when we lived in Atlanta, and talking about starting a family, and I didn't want my family growing up in Atlanta, and so moving back this direction got Cindy closer to her parents up in Ringgold, and me here. And again, I had a great experience growing up here, and I wanted my kids to have a great experience growing up here.
You mentioned some of the changes. What are some of the positive changes that you've seen over the last couple of decades?
I think the big thing that I've noticed is the way the city and the county get along together. The municipalities themselves, the boards, the commissioners, the councilmen, how they get along and have, because that wasn't the case always. My father was the mayor here for 13 years, and then prior to that, for 3 years, he was a county commissioner, a city councilman. And so I've seen how there has been a lot of infighting in the past, or not getting along, or not having a common goal. And to see both establishments working together to move the community forward and in a positive direction has been the biggest thing.
That's tremendous. The phrase servant leadership. What does that mean to you, servant leadership?
I think it's probably the most impactful and the most important leadership style is to lead by example. Get your hands dirty, get involved, serve. You don't have to be the person who's out front. You don't have to be the person who's taking the credit for anything, but you need to be involved and need to be serving and helping the greater good. Again, putting people together and getting things going the direction that you want them. And people benefit from that. I have a real hard time with people who sit back and complain all the time. Do something about it.
Yeah.
Don't. And again, a lot. I have a problem. If I don't do it myself, it's not going to get done, or it's not going to get done right if I don't do it. And so, being able to hand off and depend on and empower somebody to take a lead is a difficult task for somebody who's very controlling. And so I think that's how you serve, is you get people involved, you show them the way, and you let them lead, and you develop more and more leaders. It's not about leading people, it's about developing people.
You referenced your father a few minutes ago in the conversation. Now we're talking about servant leadership. It sounds to me like you had somebody modeling that for you at a very early age.
Oh yes, he was. Like I said, he was the mayor here. I don't know any different. Yeah. And I guess something that I spend a lot of time conveying to other folks is that's a volunteer position. You're not getting paid mega bucks to be the mayor, to be a councilman. Yeah, they get a little bit of something here or there. Even at the state level, he's House Rules Chairman. He is District 5 for Gordon, and part of Murray County. He is our state representative, and he is the House Rules Chairman there. And he makes a whopping $17,000 a year doing that. People, and that's what I think there's a misunderstanding. Everybody down there in the Senate, in the House, they have jobs. They have to have a job or a position or something that they do that they can leave from January to April and go down and serve their community by being the voice, by being the representative down there for them. And to do that, to me, for free.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
The stresses and the stuff that they deal with down there is unreal. And so to know that somebody willingly, that you have a huge building down there of willing participants in that craziness for free, that's, I think people get a little sidetracked and see how, you know, the federal government, the House of Representatives, the senators on the U.S. Level, they're getting paid for it.
Right.
This is their job. And so I think that's just automatically assumed, you know, when you go down to state and to local, and that's not the case. And so to see the true love of serving people is you go down there and see those people doing that every day.
That's outstanding. What's it like to see I mean, you've been exposed to some of the inner workings. I don't want you to give any dirty secrets or anything. Maybe I do. Well, but no, I mean, what's it like to have a front row seat to that?
It's I equate it to, it's like watching sausage being made. You don't, it's not necessarily something that you want to be a part of. You know, you see the good and the bad of it, and you see the interactions. Again, it's relationships. It's helping people out. And so when you talk to Dad about what he does down there, their primary goal every year is to pass a budget. That is all they're down there for. But all this other stuff goes on because all these representatives and senators are trying to represent their constituents, trying to do what's going to better their community. And so you start getting bills and you start getting things put together, and we need this passed, we need this changed. And so again, their job down there is to pass a budget. And then all this other sausage gets made. Mm-hmm. And so that's, it's interesting to see both sides of it. I take it for granted because I've been involved in it so much and around it so much. Go back to leadership. You know, we do the government session where we go down to the Capitol. And sometimes this is these people's first visit ever to the Capitol.
Yeah, it was mine.
And so that's, to me, for me to see you experience that is impactful to me because it's something I take for granted, something I'm around, and something that's just part of my life, but it's not part of your life. And for you to see that and to experience it and see what's going on, again, I learned from that, and you learn from it. So
there were several takeaways from that day when we went down to the Capitol, and again, it's been a couple years. But probably the biggest is the time we spent with your father. I said, that man is passionate about his community, and he's going to put his heart and life on the line for us. And it made me feel good to know that there's somebody down there with our interest in mind.
Well, it's an important position. It's not taken lightly. Right. And again, if you have the passion to be involved in your community, and you want to see your community grow, you want to see them strive and do better and have better, then you're going to take positions, you're going to do things, you're going to be a part of stuff that makes that happen.
Right.
And so, and again, he's got the passion for it. He loves it. And I call it a sickness. He loves it. And at the end of session in April, when they convene, he's worn out. You know, he's tired because he's down there every day. But the thing is, his job doesn't end just then, because all throughout the rest of the year, he's having committee meetings.
Right.
He's got lobbyists coming to see him. It's still work, and there's still staff down there working and doing stuff. It's just not as hectic. So wow. he does love it. It is passion.
What do you hope for the future of this community?
I hope that it continues to do what it's doing. It's a place that I wanted to come back to, and a place that a lot of people that I've grown up with have come back to. I think they see a value in it, and I want that to continue. I want the city and county to continue to work together. I want the community to grow. I want organizations to grow. I want businesses here. I don't want to go too far off the path of where we're at. It's a gym here that is. It's once you get here and you understand what you've got and how great options you have for health care, for school, for job opportunities. That's amazing. And so I think you see that as many people come here and get involved in the community here. I want that to continue. I don't want it to go crazy and get too big. I don't want it to be too small. I want, kind of a nice progressive growth, and again, all in efforts to make the community better and to make the citizen, live, work, and play. This has got to be the place that you want to live, work, and play. And I thought if it's that important and it meant that much to get me back here, then I want to continue that, because I want my boys to go do whatever they want to do, but I'd love for them to want to be back here, just like I wanted to be back here.
Definitely. Well, as my family and I have moved, to the community and really tried to become a part, we've fallen in love with it here. And I'm partial, you mentioned the schools and healthcare and live, work, and play. I'm obviously partial to hospital because they're my employer. How have you seen the hospital change from when you were a boy or a young man to being an old man now?
I'm an old, wise old man. These are wisdom highlights. I wasn't born in this hospital. I was born in Rome. My parents wouldn't use this hospital. It was, at the time, it was not a place that it had a stigma attached to it. I don't know why. I don't know all the details about it. But you ask anybody who's been in this community for a long time, this was not where you went. And to see that flip, to see that change, and to see how many doctors are here, wanting to be here, and hearing. I've heard stories. There's a doctor that I have dealt with, and he loves it here so much that even if I pass away, I want he says to his wife, I want you to raise the kids here. This is where we need to be. And so, to me, again, it's the impact of something special about this community to bring in the best. And so when you have a hospital and doctor's offices that are growing and growing, and you need to have that because you have a community that's growing and growing. You have more and more people coming here, and you've got to be able to service those people. And that service, whether it's healthcare, whether it's schools, whether it's jobs, it's for the community. And so I've seen a huge change in what we have access to. And again, I may take it for granted now because we do the healthcare session with leadership, and we toured the facilities. Y'all are so amazing and gracious to have us here, have it during the time of the foundation luncheon, and have the robot outside out in the lobby. That makes a huge impact, and has been told to us many times as one of their favorite sessions because, again, they may not know what they have here. They don't know what they have access to in this community as far as healthcare, and that is a huge a way to toot your own horn. Look at what we have.
Yeah, I remember when I went through the leadership class, one of my classmates, he told a story of how he had 10 or 12 years ago, he had cut off the end of his finger and come to the emergency department. And after touring the new emergency department was brand new when I went through. And after touring, he said, "Man, that place is so nice. I'm thinking about cutting off my other finger so I can go back and visit."
Back in there.
But no, we are blessed in a small community like this to have healthcare resources of this caliber, educational resources of this caliber, and just our quality of life is really, really remarkable, like you said.
Unreal. It's unreal.
I love the word legacy. As we wind down, talk to me about what you want your legacy to be.
The way I think about legacy, my boys are my legacy. I feel that legacy is something that's continuous, and it grows and it changes. I feel that what I want them to be my legacy. I'm an extension of my father, an extension in my family and his family, and go back through there. It's a growing evolution of what you want to accomplish. You talk about the boys. My goal and my hope for them is to be happy and healthy. That's all I want them to be, is happy and healthy. And so that is my legacy. I think to leave to them is to have knowledge, to have experience, and to have a background that whether they are here doing it or elsewhere doing it, that they can take and continue that and pass down to their kids and pass down to their kids. I think it's an evolving, growing, continuous trip that is called legacy. And it just develops and it changes, and it's what's important to the people and the families that are involved in it. So I think that's what I would want for them, for legacy, for me, is to continue to do good and to be involved and be happy and healthy. So
that's fantastic. Well, thank you for your time today. Thank you for your commitment to the community, and it's been fun to get to know you both professionally and personally. And again, thank you for all that you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And if there's anything you ever need, you can call on me.
I know that. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.